everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about my kind of recent luxury purchases. They're pieces that I've bought in the past half a year or so, and I'm basically going to let you guys know which of these pieces are hits and which are misses, and give you guys sort of like mini reviews on these items. There are some pieces that I have done like dedicated reviews on or comparisons of, so where applicable, I will leave them linked up here as well as in the description box down below. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's get into it. So a lot of the items that I bought in the past few months has been jewelry, and I first wanted to talk about the jewelry pieces that I purchased that I would consider to be hits. And the first one should be of no surprise to you guys if you watch my recent videos, and it is my Bvlgari Serpenti Viper bracelet, which I have on right here. I will do close-ups of all these pieces of jewelry so you can get a better sense of what they look like. But right now on my left arm, I have my Juste and Clou and my Love bracelet from Cartier, and then here I have my Bvlgari bracelet. And when I look down at my arms, I'm just so much more drawn to the Serpenti Viper bracelet from Bvlgari. It's so stunning and it's such a great statement piece. You don't need to stack it with anything for it to be, you know, like really visible and draw your attention in. I've worn it for more casual looks and more dressy looks, and it works for everything. And I did do a review and comparison between the Bvlgari bracelet and my Juste and Clou bracelet from Cartier. I'll leave that video linked up here if you guys are interested. So that's the first piece that I think is probably I would consider this to be my absolute best purchase out of everything that I'm going to talk about in today's video. And next up is my Coco Crush ring right here, which is in white gold. It's from Chanel, and I've already owned the beige gold one since mid-2021, and I decided to get a second one in white gold, not only to stack with the beige gold one, but also so I can stack it on top of some other rings that I have that are a slight bit too loose, and if I just stack this over those rings, then it would prevent those from just flying right off. And a lot of my rings are in white gold, so it made sense to get this in white gold so that it would not clash with the other rings, even though I always mix and match my jewelry and like my metals. But yeah, I just wanted it to be in the same type of metal as a lot of my other rings because some of my rings are pretty intricate. And even though this Coco Crush ring does have that quilted pattern on it, it's kind of subtle. So it in a way blends in with my other rings. But at the same time, it's not like a really bland design, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, I do really love this. Of course, I own two of these already. I think this is kind of like the extent. I wouldn't get like a third one in the yellow gold, but I do think that this and the beige gold one do look really nice when they're stacked together. And then the last two pieces of jewelry that are on this hits category is this set that I'm wearing right now, the necklace as well as the earrings from the Cleef collection from Cleef Arpels. So I purchased these two basically right when it was released because I wanted something from the Cleef collection in this mini size in rose gold. And when this came out, I was just like, okay, this is it. I want this. So I ended up purchasing both of these at the same time. And usually I'm not the type to get like matchy jewelry. Like I don't need everything to be from the same collection, but I actually really like having this set. I do get more compliments on the earrings than the necklace. If I had to guess, I would say that it might be because the rubies are different colors on the earrings compared to the necklace. The necklace actually has a slightly darker color ruby, sort of like more on the burgundy side, and on the earrings, it's more of like kind of like a fuchsia color, and maybe that might be why people notice it more. I don't know. That's just my guess, but I love both of these items the same. And even though this is a floral design, I definitely think that it's perfectly fine to wear this year round, which is not quite true of a different floral design that I'll talk about later on in this video. But there is a con that I want to mention about this Bvlgari collection, and I'm reminded of it because I can't seem to stop touching this necklace as I'm filming this video. And basically because this has this really shiny mirror finish on it, it is so prone to getting fingerprints all over it. The good thing is that it is so shiny that even with all these fingerprints on it, it still looks super shiny. You can't even really see the fingerprints until you get up close to it. But I do want to mention, yes, it does get a lot of fingerprints on the necklace. Like if you're not touching it constantly like I seem to be in this video, then it's fine. It doesn't get that many fingerprints. But the earrings, because I have to basically hold on to the flower petals itself when I'm putting it on, it's basically bound to happen. There's going to be fingerprints on it, and I've stopped even trying to like rub them off when I take off my earrings at the end of the night. I've just gotten used to it, so do keep that in mind. That is a con, but aside from that, it is super pretty, and I love the mirror finish on this Bvlgari collection. So personally for me, I like it when it just has that one little stone in the center. I wouldn't get the one that's fully pave. I don't think it's necessary. Yes, it is really sparkly, but this mirror finish is super pretty, and I think it's perfectly fine without having tons of diamonds on it. And aside from jewelry, all the other items in this hits category are all handbags. So I'm going to start with one that was on my wish list for so long before finally getting one earlier this year, and it is the Mini Lady Dior. This is in the blush color, and in the US, this color in this size was only made available earlier this year. I believe in other countries it was already available long ago. But yeah, basically when this came out, I jumped at the chance to get it. I did do a comparison between this bag and the mini with handle from Chanel recently, so I'll leave that linked up here for you guys. But this bag is just the perfect dressy bag in my opinion. And the only complaints I have about this bag are with the chain, which I have stored in here right now, but I never use this chain at all. It's basically useless to me, and I want to say that I even hate the chain, but aside from that, I love everything else about this bag. Well, there are some other potential cons about it that might be a deal breaker for you. You can find out more about it in that video. But for me, it's only really the chain that bothers me. And like I said, I don't use it, so it doesn't affect my enjoyment of this bag. So yeah, I do really love this. And then the second one I want to talk about is on my shelf right here. It is this gray classic flap in the small size. So this is my first small classic flap, and I do really love this size. I did do a comparison between the small and medium classic flap. I'll leave that linked up here for you guys. And honestly, I don't know why it took me so long to get a gray bag. In many ways, I think gray is a more versatile color than black is. A lot of people just, wear a black bag with any outfit they have on, but black is kind of a very stark color, right? It's all the way on one end of the spectrum, whereas gray, you can style it with, clothes, outfits that you would usually wear a black bag with, but also outfits that would look better with a white bag versus a black bag. A gray bag also works for that. It's like basically right in the middle of those two extreme colors, those extreme ends of the color spectrum. And this is exactly the shade of gray that I was looking for when I was looking to buy a gray bag. But honestly, now that I have this, I also want a gray that is slightly darker, because the only negative thing about this type of light gray shade is that there is a risk of color transfer. I haven't gotten any color transfer on this bag yet, so that's a good thing, but I feel like a slightly darker gray would give the same versatility as this gray does, but be a little bit more carefree. But at the same time, I am aware that I wouldn't enjoy a darker gray as much as I do this one, so I'm thinking that I'll buy something that is much more affordable than a classic flap for like a darker shade of gray. But that is something that I'm kind of considering for a future bag. And then the last two bags that I want to talk about are both in a caramel brown color. So the first one is this one right here. This is the medium classic flap. And then I have this bag right here, which is this the newest bag? Yes, this is the newest bag to my collection. This is the small or medium Chanel 19. So I first got this bag, I think back in March or April, and this I purchased in August, I believe. And I used this a lot up until I got this bag, honestly. This has kind of been my go-to bag recently. I've used it so much since the weather has kind of cooled down a little bit. If I'm wearing like a dress or a skirt, for example, I'm much more likely to use this. But this is basically for like any other outfit that is more on the casual end. And the thing is, I feel like this shade tends to lean more casual. So because of that, I think that it suits this style of bag more than a classic flap. Yeah, I do think that this Chanel 19 is just a more casual shade, and this caramel brown is a more casual color. So it's just the perfect match for this bag, especially with this aged gold hardware. Yeah, it's just the perfect combination. I kind of feel like if I bought the Chanel 19 first, then I might not have also bought the same caramel brown color in the classic flap style. But yeah, I did buy this one first, followed by this one. And between the two of them, I think this one is more of a hit than the classic flap is, but I do think that the classic flap also belongs in this category. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about two items that are not quite hits, but also not so bad that I would consider them to be misses. And both are pieces of fine jewelry from Cleef Arpels. So the first is this pair of earrings I have on right here. They're the Lucky Spring Plum Blossom earrings in mother of pearl and rose gold. And there's two reasons why I have them in this kind of like in-between category. The first is one that I mentioned briefly before when I was talking about the frivolous pieces I have. And this floral design is just not one that I think works year-round. It's very much so a spring and summer design. And as a matter of fact, I believe plum blossoms bloom at the very end of winter and they signify the beginning of spring. So yeah, very much so a spring and summer design. And I knew that when I was buying it. If it was just this reason alone, I don't think I would have bumped them into this kind of like not quite hit or miss category, but along with the second point, that's why they're in this category. And the second reason is I find that these earrings are just not that easy to put on, and it's because of how they're designed, where it has this part that snaps on the back that isn't like a separate piece, whereas all my other earrings have like the back that is separate to it. And I'm usually the type of person that doesn't need like a mirror or anything to put on my earrings. I'm just so used to it. But for this pair, I feel like I have to have a mirror on hand to put it on. And it's because I have to kind of put it on at kind of an angle, because the piece that goes on the back of it is kind of in the way. So I have to put it on at an angle, and it's just so convoluted. And whenever there's something that just kind of strays from my usual techniques and my usual procedures, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of it. So yeah, that's why this pair of earrings, although I think they are really pretty, I just don't think that they're a great choice, like a good purchase for me to have made. So going forward, I do think that I'm going to just stick with earrings that have the backs that I'm used to. And I actually did inquire about changing the design of the earrings to match, you know, like what I'm used to, but I was quoted like a price that was above $1,000 because they basically have to change so much about the earrings. And I was just like, I'm not paying over $1,000 to have this done. So yeah, I'm just going to have to deal with spending a little bit more time to put this pair of earrings on the half a year that I actually do wear these earrings. And then the other piece of fine jewelry from Van Cleef Arpels that is not quite a hit nor a miss in my opinion is my 5 motif guilloche bracelet in yellow gold. So I also did an entire video on this bracelet recently. I'll have that linked up here. And in that video, I think it was titled like reasons you shouldn't get this bracelet. And I still think this bracelet is really pretty, but it's just that there are a lot of potential red flags to this bracelet. And one of them is that it is so hard to put on. But what I found out since filming that video is I find that it's easier putting this bracelet on my right arm than my left arm, even though I'm right-handed. So that's kind of what I've been doing now, and it makes it a little easier. It's very strange why that is true. I find that the clasp on this bracelet is just so finicky. And every time my nails are just a slight bit too long, it always snaps closed before I can get it around the ring on the other end. And for some reason, when I'm putting it on my right arm, whenever it's at risk of snapping closed, I can kind of help it along with my right hand if I kind of like bend it a little bit. It's really weird describing it on video, but yeah, it's easier putting it on my right arm, whereas everything else I usually wear on my left arm, and it's just really awkward putting other stuff on my right hand. But yeah, I guess in a way it's a good thing because then I can have some bling on my right arm instead of just having everything on my left side. So that is kind of like a nice little development. The other thing I was willing to try if, you know, all else failed was I heard that you could change the clasp to a slightly bigger one, and that has helped a lot of you guys. So that was something that I was going to try, but I never got around to going to the boutique before I found out that I had a much easier time putting it on my right arm than my left. So I'm just going to leave it for now. But yeah, even with this new development, I still feel like there are so many other cons that you should keep in mind if you're thinking about getting this bracelet. So if you're interested in finding out more, then definitely do check out that video. So the good thing is I only have one item that I would consider to be a miss. The bad thing is I should have known better and not bought this to begin with. And it is this pair of pumps from Christian Louboutin. This is their Kate 100 style. And I really should have known better because I know that Christian Louboutin shoes aren't the most comfortable in my opinion. Like, there are some exceptions. There is a pair that I own that I do find to be quite comfortable, but in general, I just don't find his shoes to be comfortable. This isn't the worst. Like, it's definitely much better than the Bvlgari's, which I used to own 4 pairs of, and I since sold all of them. So this isn't as bad as that, but yeah, I should have known better. But I really wanted a pair of nude pumps that was a good match for my skin tone, and I thought that this could be it, especially since they made this in like various shades of nude. I think this might be the lightest one, but it goes up to even like dark brown shades, so it's not like one single color of nude like most brands do. So I thought this would be a good match. And when I unboxed this in one of my videos, I even asked you guys if you thought it was a good match for my skin tone, and you guys said it was. And even me, when I was watching back that video, when I was looking at the clips, it seemed like a good match too. But the thing is, I feel like it looks different in real life against my legs than it does on camera. So yeah, I was kind of going back and forth. Ultimately, I decided to keep it, but yeah, I should have returned these when I had the chance, and really not the best use of like $700. So that is it for this recent hits and misses, best and worst purchases video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up and do let me know in the comments down below what are your favorite recent purchases. It could be anything, whether it's luxury items or even like daily essentials. Let me know in the comments down below, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do consider subscribing for new videos every single week on luxury and fashion, and I'll leave 2 videos on the screen for you to watch next. So I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.